Terrence here with Root Healthy Plants, and we are back with another fall harvest. Join me as I shop in my backyard and front yard food forest for another bountiful harvest. Let's go. Okay, we are going to start right here. We're not even going to go far because we have squash hanging right here, and I can see all the leaves are dying back on this trellis, this homemade trellis that I made. This squash can no longer get nutrients through the leaves through photosynthesis. So it stands to reason that I should now cut this off. I look at the bottom, I look for my telltale signs of it being green and look like it's still growing, and I'm not seeing those signs. So this is as far as this squash is going to grow. So it's time to cut this squash off. We're going to cut our losses, and we're going to get what we can get. And this is nature. Sometimes we get little squash, sometimes we get big squash. It happens like that. We're going to add that to our bin. I can see that its trail of leaves goes up the trellis and down the trellis, and it's no longer getting photosynthesis from its leaves. So it's time to cut this squash off right here. Boom, knock him off. And we can see from the leaves around it that it's dying, and this squash is good to go. Knock on it, feel it, it's solid, it's hard. It doesn't have those telltale signs of it being green, and it's still growing. It's still receiving nutrients from the vines. This one is good to go. We're gonna put this in our bin. That's two. We have a squash right here. This one looks like we have a couple leaves, but I'm going to leave this out here for a few more days because I see a couple signs of it still growing. This is still getting a little bit of nutrients, but a few more days, and I think this is a wrap. I think the cold is getting to this squash. Now I'm over here on the other side of my trellis, and again, we have all these dead leaves. The cold is tearing this plant up. So I look for my telltale signs, and I don't see any, that the plant is still receiving nutrients. So it's time to cut this guy off, and we're gonna bring this in the house. What do we have here? We have another squash. I shaped some of these leaves off. Oh, this one came right off. Yeah, we know this guy needs to be harvested, and he's good to go in the house. I'll take what I can get. This is nature. What else do we have over here? Sneak in here. Oh, we have another squash hiding amongst my tarragon. All these yellow flowers, this is tarragon. And this is a squash hiding in here. Amongst this, I'm going to look for my signs that this is ready to go, and this is ready to be cut off. Although the squash leaves are still growing, I think we can possibly get another small squash this season if I cut this off now, and this plant can focus on creating another squash instead of focus on making this one grow more. So I cut that off, and this is good to go. Nice, doing amazing so far. I see a watermelon. We have a sugar baby watermelon here. If you can see, ants are all over it. There's a hole in it, and we have to chalk this one up as a loss. I'm going to throw this in my compost bin. All right, so I'm going to harvest some peppers also, but I want to let you know, a couple days ago, I forgot to close my enclosure, and a deer got in here and ate down a ton of my pepper plants, tomato plants, ate some squash, ate a couple bites of watermelon. So things aren't as vibrant as I would have liked, and that was my fault, but this is part of nature. This is part of growing, and sometimes these things happen. You have setbacks, and you don't want to let that get you down. You don't want to let that kill your drive for growing your own food. You want to let that kind of fuel doing the right thing, not making those mistakes. You want to let those setbacks make you stronger. Through struggle and resistance builds strength. It is what it is. I'm not going to let that kill my vision. I'm not going to let that kill my passion. So we're going to harvest what we can. We have a jalapeno pepper right here. We're going to take this one off. We have a couple young jalapenos over here. I'll take these off. So we're getting close to winter, and I'm going to take some peppers off, whether they're small or big, and I just want to get what I can get. When the frost comes, the frost is going to kill the plant. So anything is better than nothing. So I got two right here. One turned red, but there's a little hole in it. So I'm just going to bury this one in the the soil wood chips growing medium here. And I'm gonna make my way down just a little bit more. And there's squash leaves right here, but amongst that is a jalapeno plant. And there's a pepper on here. It's ready to come off. Then we got one right there. Throwing that in my bin. And we have more jalapeno over here. There's another one here. I'm gonna cut that off. We have a little cherry tomato off a cherry tomato plant right here. So I'm gonna take that too. We have a couple more jalapenos. Ooh, this one just came. These are coming right off. As soon as I started pulling at them, they came right off. We'll take them. Push, prod, touch, feel, and see what's here. The leaves could be covering some things up. I just want to make sure I check everything. And we have a jalapeno right here. We're going to take that. Nice one. We'll take it. We have a little one right here. We'll take this. And we want to take everything right now. And like I said, you know, the deer ate a lot of this stuff off. A lot of these things just have no leaves, no peppers. And that's unfortunate, but that was my fault. Look at this. This is almost barren. It's got 3 leaves down on the bottom, but it's unfortunate. The deer ate all this stuff off. This is why I need a big fence around my whole property. I can't afford it now, but in the future, I hope so. So in the meantime, I have to work with these smaller enclosures that I have, and I left the gate open. But we have another jalapeno right here. We'll take that. We have some green chili peppers here. So I'm going to leave them on for a few more days because we have a couple nice days coming in the forecast. So I'm going to see if these are going to ripen up. But what's ripe, I will definitely take. This is one that's starting to turn right here. It's turning orange, and this will continue to ripen in the house on the counter. We're going to add this to our bin here and see what else we have available. We have a cayenne right here. This one's turning ripe. Nice. What is this? It's a Hungarian wax pepper. So the leaves are starting to fall off of this one. So I'm going to take whatever's on this plant, and if this produces another one, so be it. But I'm going to take whatever I can get, and it's starting to turn, so it will continue to ripen in the house. What do we have over here? We have a habanero that was sitting on the wood chips. There's no holes in it. It just fell off probably due to the cold. So it's not fully ripe, but I'm going to bring it in the house, and this is going to be used for some hot sauce. But we do have some ripe habaneros here. So I'm definitely going to take these ones. Got one right here that's orangish. We got one that's reddish here. We have a few more that's turning. This one is a little orange and greenish. Let's take that. We have one that's super ripe, that's nice and red here. We have a really red one. And there's another one. No, there's a couple more on the ground here. Oh, it's unfortunate. One has split open and the animals have got to it. But there's still some seeds in it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this in the house and harvest the seeds. But there's another green one on the ground. And there's no holes in this one. So we're going to take what we can get and continue to harvest off this plant. There's a couple over here, a couple plants. There's a habanero right here. This one's starting to turn. We have another one that's starting to turn here. And I'm just going to feel around this plant for any more. I'm going to look around and see if there's any more hiding on the wood chips here, because the leaves are starting to cover the ground and I don't want to miss any hidden gems here. Looks like I got most of the habanero. There's one more that's on the vine here, and I'm going to see if this will ripen up in the next few days. You can see a little bit of orangeness at the top right there. So, you know, this is starting to ripen, and this will continue to ripen in the house on the counter. We have a jalapeno right here. I want to take this off. This one's good. We have a butternut squash here. And although this still has its leaves on it, I'm going to look for the telltale signs to see if this one is still immature, which it's not. It's mature. Although it's not super big, it's mature. So we're going to take this off, and if any more butternut squash produce, we just help facilitate that happen. So we're going to add this to our bin. We have another butternut squash here, and I'm going to look for my telltale signs that this is still receiving nutrients. And I see a little bit. They're not green, so I know, like, if I really want to, I can take this off. But I think I'm going to give this another couple days, because I think this can still get some more nutrients and photosynthesis through these leaves that are left here. Its vines are not super dried out and decayed. And I'm just looking to see what else is in this area that I can harvest. So we have a little mini butternut squash here. I'm going to leave this on the vine. But over here, we have some jalapeno. I'm going to take that one. And we're just touching to see what's out here. Another jalapeno right here. We'll take that off. Feeling each plant to take what we can. It's a little mini, looks like almost like a poblano. I don't know, but I'm going to leave that on there. Still very immature. We're going to give it another week or so. We have a Hungarian wax pepper. I'm going to take this off. We have a jalapeno right here. Let's take that off. And then we have some chili peppers that are riddled in this area. And look at those super ripe red cayenne peppers right there. Look at that. We have a ton of cayennes over here. This plant is producing like crazy. Some of these are not fully red, but they're turning like a brownish orangish color. And I like that, because those will continue to ripen on the counter for sure. And we're getting whatever we can out of this fall harvest, because we're definitely not promised that we won't get a frost soon. So early frost will definitely kill your pepper plants. And we have a bunch right here, and we're still going. There's a ton. One fell on the ground, but this one looks like it just fell within the last day or so, because there's no holes in it. There's no ants or bugs eating at it. So that's acceptable. And it looks like some of these, because they're not super big, but they're really ripe, it's like it knew that the cold is coming. It felt the cold, and it's like, okay, we need to ripen up now. We don't have time to sit here and get bulky and bigger and juicy. We need to ripen so we can come off the vine. It's like these things are intuitive. They want to jump in my hot sauce. All right, we got a bunch more here. I'm going to take all these off. There's a ton of red ones over here. A ton of ripe ones. Ooh-wee. So I've been mixing my hot sauce with a bunch of the peppers, the Hungarian wax, the cayennes, the ghost peppers, the habaneros. I haven't really been discriminatory in the hot sauce that I make. Like, okay, it has to be all cayenne peppers, or it has to be all jalapeno peppers, or habaneros, or cayenne. Like, I use what I have, and I make the hot sauce to my liking, or my wife makes the hot sauce to our liking. So if it's a little bitter, we add a little bit more sweetness to it. If it's a bit sweet, we thin it out. Add some more pepper. Thin out that sweetness. Be intuitive with your cooking, your gardening. Got more cayennes. So we have a ton right here. Look at all those cayenne peppers I just took off of there. Beautiful cayenne peppers. Nice. Really nice. And I'm just lifting, feeling, pushing, prodding, seeing what's in here, what's available. There's some more cayennes that are green. I'm not going to take them yet. We're not in danger of any frost within the next few days that I know of. So I'm going to take my chances. We got a jalapeno over here. I'll take that. Add that to our bin right there. What can we find in here? We have some jalapenos, some pretty jalapenos hiding right there. These things are gorgeous right here. These are shiny, perfect. They don't look stressed out. Another jalapeno right here. We'll take this guy. We got some cayennes in here. I'll fish these out. Be careful not to cut their leaves off. Whoop. Doing surgery. Couple pretty cayenne peppers right there. We have another jalapeno right there. This one's super pretty. Nice. Let's check these squash to see if any of these are ripe. Check this squash. Oh, this is a nice squash right here. Look at that one. This one is about ready to come off. I will cut this one off, actually. Nice. It's a pretty butternut squash right there. I'll add this to the rest of them. Let's check these butternut squash right here. So this one right here, you can see when the deer got in my enclosure, he started to eat at it a little bit. But I had trust that this will heal over. It still has those telltale signs of it growing, and you see those green stripes coming out. So we know that this one is still receiving its nutrients, it's still immature, and the vines still have leaves on it. So it's still getting photosynthesis from the sun. The frost or cold hasn't killed all the leaves yet. So we're going to leave this out here, let that heal over and continue to grow. This one, we can tell that this one's still very immature. It has all those green stripes, very small, but it still has its leaves on it, so I'll leave it and let it go. We have a butternut squash here. This one also looks a little bit immature. I see the green stripes running down the side and on the bottom, but this one doesn't have many leaves on it. The leaves that are here are all dying back. So I'm going to make a discretionary call, and I'm going to cut this one off. And sometimes it's okay to cut them off when they're immature. They are still edible. They may not last as long on the counter or storing them, but these are still good to cut. These are still good to eat. We have another squash right here. I'm going to check its line of vines, and these look dead. The leaves are dead. This can no longer get photosynthesis, so I'm going to make another discretionary call, and we're going to cut this squash off right here too. You see the leaves right here all dead and shriveled up. It's not going to get the photosynthesis that it needs from the sun. So we're going to take what we can get, and we are going to save this butternut squash and bring it in the house. This will get eaten. We have another butternut squash back here, and its leaves are also dead. So we're going to cut this one off too. But this is beautiful. We have a lot of food here that we're collecting. And now I'm going to come in and cut off a few more jalapeno peppers that I noticed from a different angle. So I'm going to cut this one off here. Nice. Pretty one hiding. And remember, it's good to get different angles because sometimes the leaves are blocking your vantage point and you have to catch a different angle, push, prod, and see what's going on. We got a butternut squash hiding in here that I just saw from a different angle. And although the leaves are still good and it can still get photosynthesis, I'm going to cut this off because I'm looking at the bottom, looking for my telltale signs that this is still growing and immature, and it's not. I don't see those signs. So this one is good to go. I'm going to cut that off and add that to our collection. While I'm over here, I see a Hungarian wax pepper that is starting to turn. So I'm going to cut this one off. Nice. Pretty nice cayenne pepper here. Ooh, that one's a beauty right there. Look at that. That's a beauty. Nice. And we have our Hungarian wax peppers right here. And we have some really small, ripe ones. Tiny ones. And sometimes they happen like that. I'm going to take it for sure. Look at this one. It's turning red. Super ripe. We have another one. It's like it knows the cold is here. It's like we have to ripen up now. Let's take these pretty little gems now. We have another one coming off at the bottom here. I'll take what I can get. Anything's good. We have a jalapeno here. I'll take that. Another Hungarian wax pepper down here. Let's take it. And then we're just going to push and feel. Oh, see? I didn't even see it. But if I didn't push and feel and prod, I would have never known that those Hungarian wax peppers were there. Just hanging out. Calling my name. Waiting to get picked. So we're going to add that to our collection here. And just want to feel around this plant. Feel around the other plants around. Oh, we got another one. Okay. Doing good. And up, you see? That's why you gotta push this plant around. Be gentle, but push it around, feel, see what's going on, catch different angles, and you kind of feel the plant for the weight. The peppers kind of make it weighted a little bit differently, and you can kind of feel the counter resistance from the pepper. And we have another pepper, Hungarian wax pepper hiding back here. A few hiding back here. We'll take them all. Nice. We got a couple of bell peppers over here. We'll take those. A few smaller bell peppers. But these are definitely edible, and we will eat these. What is going on here? It looks like, this is an odd one. So I'm taking off Hungarian wax peppers, but there's also a bell pepper on here. That's an odd one. I've never seen that before. You see that? That's a bell pepper right there, but these are Hungarian wax peppers. I've never, ever, ever seen that. On the same plant, we had Hungarian wax peppers, but we also got a bell pepper here. That's an odd one. I'll take it. Ooh. We have some bell peppers over here. We'll take all these. Some pretty nice ones. And these aren't your gargantuan grocery store bell peppers. These are natural, organic, no pesticides, no chemical fertilizers. It's all natural, all organic, just compost bell peppers. Just using and putting what nature provided. I'll take this small bell pepper off. We take what we can get. We'll eat it. We have a jalapeno over here, a little baby. I'll take that little guy right there. And we have another bell pepper right here. Another bell pepper. We'll take it. I'll eat it. And I think that's it for this pepper section over here. So I'm in a different section of my backyard food forest, and I'm going to search some of these watermelon to see which ones have dying leaves and their vines are dying off like this one right here. And we're going to take what we can get. Even though some of these are really small, they'll still be nice and juicy and red on the inside. These are sugar baby watermelon. I'm going to cut these off. And look at this right here. Unfortunately, the groundhogs or the deer got a hold of this one right here. This is one of our sugar babies. And you can see that there's still seeds inside. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to eat this. But you can definitely tell that just because they're small, it doesn't mean that they're not edible. So I have one just as big as this one. But this one will get eaten. This one is edible. It's a sugar baby watermelon. But this one right here, I'm going to harvest the seeds from this and we're going to grow more next year. So don't let this go to waste. Don't throw this away. The seeds get harvested and then the rest goes in the compost. We got a little tiny one right here. But the leaves are dying back, so I'll take it. It's no longer getting any nutrients from the vines. We have another one right here. Same thing. The vines are all dried up right here around it. So we're going to cut this off. We're going to take this in the house. My kids are going to really love these tiny watermelons. They'll really appreciate it. And we have more. So I'm going to cut this one off too. My kids feel like these are they're perfect size for them. You know, I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. They'll love eating these watermelons. They'll think that I grew them just for them. So I'm just following the watermelon leaves because there could be some hidden. Oh, found another one. This one is rotting. So you see it's watermelon on this side, but it's rotting on this side. Got one right here. I might leave this one here because this one looks healthy. The vines are still growing. The leaves are still there, so it's still getting photosynthesis. So I'll leave that one there. We got a couple more over here. These are growing, but the leaves are healthy. They're not brown. The vines are not brown. These are still growing, so I'm going to leave these here. I'll harvest these. We got another one here. We got a bunch. Oh no, this one has to come off. This one has to come off. The vines are brown. Oh, found a couple more. We got one growing right here. So the vines are still healthy, but the leaves are dead. It's no longer going to get nutrients. So we'll take it and see what we can get out of it. We have another one right here. Oh, this is unfortunate. You see it's starting to rot right there. And I feel the softness in the outer skin around the whole watermelon. So this has to go in the compost. While we are in this area, I want to just double check, make sure we don't have any beans that need to be harvested in this area, because I know I left some, especially ones that are hanging still. Look at these. These are popping right off. These are cowpeas right here. I let them grow up my welded wire fence here. And luckily the deer didn't eat them all off. There's a couple more over here. Yeah. We got some beans right there. I'll take them. Just checking to see if there are any more beans. And I'm going to check to see if we have any more glass gem corn while I'm over here. Now that all the foliage has died back, it's easier to see the beans now. If they've fallen down. If I'm happen to miss some, it's all good. They'll pop back up next year, growing in the ground. But I want to see if I can harvest. Oh, see, these aren't even ready yet. So I'll take these, but these two right here, these aren't ready yet. Some of them are still growing. Look at that. And this is super soft, fertile growing medium right here. This is all wood chips. But you see how much beans and glass gem corn, just stuff that's growing here. So things grew well in this Three Sisters bed that I put here. Mainly the corn and the beans. Not so much the squash. I might not do that again next year. Whatever little glass gem corn I can pull off of here, I'll take it. We got some mini ones here. Look at this. Oh, looks like the bugs might have gotten to this one. There's a couple on here I might be able to harvest. But looks like the bugs got to it. And it's super immature. But there's a few on there. I'll take what I can get now. I'll take this off of here. We got a few kernels, very small. And we're going to check for any corn bugs that are in there. Any little kernels I can get, I'll take them. I think I took the ones off of these already. We got one growing right there. We'll take that. And my grapevine is connected to the glass gem corn here, so I have to disconnect that. You see, this doesn't just want to just pull out and fall over. So I'm going to break the corn and just let the, okay, so that came off. So this is my grapevine right here. The glass gem corn was just connected to it. But I'll let my grapevine continue to do its thing. And I actually want to train it along my fence here. So just kind of let that sit right there and do what it wants to do. The rest of this corn right here, this is finished. We got a few small little ears right here, but I'm going to bring it to the front. And when I'm in the front, I'm going to see what we can actually get out of it. Let's check this one right here. The leaves are starting to die around it. Yeah, these leaves are starting to die. So I'm going to take this one off. See what we can salvage from this. We have a small one right here. Now I'm going to check the leaves I mean, the vines feel still decent. The leaves look okay, but they're starting to die. One more cold night and this plant is finished. So I'm just going to cut this one off. I don't like the way the leaves are looking. Very spotted, starting to get brown. This bin is definitely getting heavy. This watermelon definitely looks like it needs to come off. It's not looking super healthy. These leaves are starting to die back. I'm going to take that one off. These leaves are looking spotted, getting real brown around the edges. So we're going to take this one off too. We got another one. We'll take that one. We got a nice cluster over here of sugar babies. And I'm just looking at the leaves. So these look super healthy. A bunch of these don't look as healthy. So I'm going to take what I can get in this area. Not bad. This one's decent. This one's spotted. If I were to leave this here, this one would definitely start to rise here. It's a spot that's starting to go brown, but it still is firm. So this is definitely still edible. So this one is starting to yellow. So it's browning on one side, yellowing on the other side. I definitely want to take this off. We have one right here. I'll take that too. So we got two here. One, you can see the ants in it, eating all over it. This one is definitely rotting. It's super soft, and you can see the flesh coming in, and you can see that it's super soft. See the indentation with my finger. So these are both going in the compost. These eggplant don't seem super ripe yet. They still seem really firm. Even though they're purple, they still seem really firm. And they're still flowering. So I'm going to give this another week or so and see how they feel. It's time to head to my front yard food forest to see what we can harvest out front. Let's go. I have a ton of food already, but I'm now heading into my front yard food forest to see what we can harvest up here. Off the rip, we have a honeydew melon that looks like this needs to be cut off, and we're going to bring this in the house. We got a couple ants off it, but it doesn't look like they penetrated too deeply. So we're going to take this in the house and see what we can get. I planted black beans out here, Roman beans, black-eyed peas. This one opened up, and there's some black-eyed peas coming out of this one already. Looks like an animal or bird or squirrel might have been eating at that one. So I just dropped those beans right where they are. This one split open already. And I want to show you the Roman bean that was inside. So when I say Roman bean, that's what a Roman bean looks like, right there. Let's see if we got any more. We definitely do. The beans are part of your survival food forest. When things get rough, beans aren't going bad. They stay dry. You want your dry goods, stuff that you can have for years. Eat the fresh stuff when times are good, a little bit of the dry stuff when times are good, but you want that dry stuff for when times aren't as good, if things really happen. When the grocery stores don't have what you need, what are you going to eat? Answer that to yourself. Who are you going to rely on then? Oh, you didn't want to prepare. Okay, got you. This is easy. You put the beans in the ground and wait for them to pop out and dry. This is easy. I just took this out of the case. It's a Roman bean, for example. All you would have to do is go cover that up. That's it. That's it. And wait for it to pop out and dry. It's over. Put the bean in. Be patient. Come get numerous beans. Come get multiples of those beans. You put one in the ground, you get multiples back. You get many back. This is simple. This is simple mathematics. I put one bean in the ground, might get 5 back. Might get 10 back. You might get 20 back. Who knows? It's up to nature. But for what you get in return, but you will get multiples. You will receive multiples. You reap what you sow. You don't put beans in the ground, you don't get beans back. Plain and simple. It's like wanting to receive a paycheck for not going to work. Like you want to eat, but you don't want to sow the seed. You don't want to condition the soil. No, 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 no. We got some black beans right here. Got one of my black beans coming out of the casing right there. Black eyed peas, Roman beans, black beans. I like my beans. This is sustenance, protein. Let's go with the rice. Rice is dry goods. What you gonna put in your rice? What you gonna put on top of your rice? I'm putting beans on top of mine. I don't know what you putting on top of yours, but I hope you are growing food so that you have food to store, food to eat, food to feed your family. And at the very least, it's just keeping your cabinets extra full. It's okay with having abundance. You don't want to have lack of. That's what you don't want. You don't want to be lacking in the food department. Worrying. When you can't feed your family, what comes with that? Worry, stress, desperate measures, irrational thinking. But when you have plenty, you know how to grow your own food. You know how to survive. You don't resort to those irrational thoughts, wanting to do things that you may not have done had you not had needed. This is preparation. This is what we're supposed to be doing anyway. Why shouldn't you garden? You don't have a good reason for not needing to learn how to garden. That should be part of a school curriculum. They want to teach learning how to cook and sew. They need to teach learning how to grow your own food. I didn't learn that in school, but it needs to be part of the curriculum. Let me tell it. Get all this free stuff. All that squash right there was just from composting in my soil. All that free stuff right there. I put the work in. I sowed my seed. We all need to be doing this. Come out to your yard and go get you some beans. Go get you some squash. Go get you some watermelon, rainbow corn, Indian corn, some glass gem corn. What is that? They're all the same. And they're stored for many years. Do your research, do your homework. I thought about planting sweet corn this year. I wanted to. I got a ton of sweet corn to plant, but I said, you know what? They can cross-pollinate. Which one's more important? Which one will contribute to this being a survival food forest and will store for many years if I happen to need it? I weighed my options. It was hands down the glass gem corn. That's what I grew. I held off on the sweet corn. I would suggest you grow it. I recommend it. All these beans. Blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. This bin is getting heavy. I got to lift properly. I got to get down in my squat to lift that bucket right there. That's a blessing when you got so much food you can harvest from your yard that you need to squat down and lift properly so you don't blow your back up. You could hurt yourself from lifting all that food at one time. That's a blessing. Why should you grow beans? Here's an example. You can grow one bean. You put one bean in the ground, and each stalk typically has two of these. Let's see how many beans you getting back. Is this worth it? I just dropped one. Is this worth it? Let's see. Let's do some simple math to see, is it worth growing your own beans? We're going to do some simple math. How many beans did I get from that one pod? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 beans out of this one pod. And each plant typically has 2 pods. So if you put one bean in the ground and you get 22 beans back, what are we talking about here? Why are you not growing your own food? This is a survival garden. These are cowpeas right here. These have the bigger pods. Out of all the beans I grow, these have the bigger pods. These are a no-brainer. Grow y'all some beans, some black beans, cowpeas, Roman beans. I don't care what kind of beans. Start y'all a survival food forest today. This is what y'all need to do. I am almost done harvesting for the day, but I'm in my front yard food forest. And as you can hear, cars ride by to see what other peppers are ripe out here. We have a chili pepper here that can come off. We got a couple jalapenos here. Small ones, but I'll take them. Like I said, the frost is coming. Winter is coming. The cold is coming. And we want to take and get what we can get. Small little bell pepper there. We have a jalapeno looking nice and ripe. Look at that beauty right there. Pretty deep, rich red looking color right there. We got a couple Hungarian wax peppers here. We'll take those. Another Hungarian wax pepper that's super ripe. And we have, I'm going to put these in my bin here. We have some amazing ghost peppers. And you see all the leaves are pretty much gone. So we definitely have to cut these off because this plant is not getting any more photosynthesis. I'm tempted to dig this plant out of the ground and overwinter it in my house so we can get a head start for next year. But that's 2. That's 3. 4. 5 ghost peppers I just cut off of there. I just cut 5 ghost peppers off, and these are going to make for some beautiful hot sauce. Look at those babies right there. We have some cayennes that are looking pretty deep red and are shining in my front yard food forest. These are the ones that are close to the fence that people ask, what are you growing there, guy? What are you growing there, neighbor? What you got growing? Peppers for my hot sauce. There's a few more green ones I'm going to leave on there to see if they ripen in the next few days, being that I just took all of these off. So now that energy that the plant is given is going to go into producing more peppers or ripening the ones that are already on the vine still. But I'm just going to do a quick look, see what else is over here. And got some Hungarian wax peppers, a couple young ones here. Hungarian wax pepper here. Super ripe one right here. This one's fully red right there, as opposed to the young ones. This is a fully ripe one. These are the young ones. So same pepper, but fully ripe, immature Hungarian wax pepper. And we have some younger ones here. I'll take all of these off. I want all of them. Oh, we got some jalapenos here. All right. I'll take these guys. Just hanging out here. All right. I almost overlooked them. I caught a different vantage point and happened to see a few of them shaking on the plant here. Any more? Yep. Remember, shake your plant, push, prod, move it around, because you might miss some. You can feel them dangling, feel them weighting a plant down. If you just move it around, see what's going on, look from different perspectives. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have some more Hungarian wax peppers here. Let's take these off. Some more right here. Look at that. Not such a bad harvest. Not so bad for a fall harvest. For peppers, at least. You know? And I think that's about it. Let's see what some of this glass gem corn is looking like. 'Cause I don't think some of this stuff is really ripened. Not a whole lot going on in there. We got a few kernels. I'll take it. It only takes one to produce a whole cob. Not much on that one, but we got a few kernels. It only takes one. So we'll save what we can get. We got a couple on there, on that one. A couple. We'll take it. What we got on this one? What do we have here? Drum roll, please. Brrr. Let's see. We got a few more on that one. Got a few there. We'll take it. We'll take those. Like I said, it only takes one. Save the glass gem corn. Ah, this one has one. This one has two. It only takes two. I mean, it only takes one, but this one has two on there. We'll save it. Ooh, that's a pretty one right there. Nice. This one got better pollination on it. I mean, it's not a big ear of corn, but we got a lot of kernels on this one. You see some pretty glass gem corn right there. Look at that. That's pretty. I'm going to save those, and we're going to grow a ton more next year. Look at that pretty one. Nice. Let's see what we have here. Oh, man. Yeah, we got some more corn right here. We have some more pretty ones. Look at that baby right there. Woo-wee. Yeah. Look at that. That's a pretty one. It's not a huge ear, but that's a pretty one. Full of corn. We are going to grow a lot more glass gem corn next year. This was another amazing harvest. I appreciate you for watching. If you got some inspiration or knowledge out of this video, please like the video. Please share this video with as many people as you can. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Comment in the comment section if you have something to comment about. Let's start the conversation. We need to be growing our own food. We need to be starting survival food forests. And we need to be starting front yard food forests. And let's normalize growing food in our front yard and backyard and not normalizing looking at grass. So I'll see you on the next one. This is Terrence with Root Healthy Plants. Keep it growing.